Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stories from School Board Service. Today, I'm excited to have Ann O'Brien with us. Ann is the current president of the ASBA Board of Directors, and I thought it'd be great for you to get to know her. Ann, welcome to our little video recordings. And I'm wondering, can you just tell us how long you've been on your board, what board you belong to, and just kind of your background?
Sure. So I have been on the board. This is my 7th year, and I sit on the Deer Valley Unified School District board, and that is located up in northern Phoenix. And a little bit of my background is that I have a business degree from ASU, but I raised 2 kids in the Deer Valley School District and was very involved. I did PTSA for the presidency for 4 years and served on school committees and then district committees, and eventually felt like all of that experience would be very helpful in sitting on the school board. So in 2014, I ran and was able to win a very competitive election, actually.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had a competitive election every time? So you've run twice?
I've run twice, yes. We had 7 people run for 2 seats in 2014. And 6 people run for 2 seats in 2018.
Great. Well, congratulations. You must be doing a good job. Otherwise, they wouldn't have reelected you. So for this, we want to just kind of orient new members and give them some thoughts about what school board service is about from veteran members. So I'll just ask you a few questions and, just give us your thoughts on that. So what's been the most difficult part of the job for you?
So when I first started on the board, that was back when we were still making cuts to the budget. And so coming in at a time where we'd already made a lot of cuts, to the budget. So we were no longer, trimming maybe fat, not that there was ever a lot of fat in education, but I would say, we were cutting way into the muscle. So that was really a very difficult thing to do. I think the other thing that was difficult for me, because I had been such a strong advocate, not just for my children and their classmates, but switching roles from being an advocate to being a governing board member is huge, because now, you're worrying about an entire district and not just all of the students, but the staff and the community and your voters. So learning that new role, there was a little bit of a learning curve there.
Yeah, I think there really is more of a learning curve than we like to admit sometimes.
Yes, so, it's really hard because you want to help. I love to help people, and that's what I had been doing all those years, not just my children, but other people.
Right.
And so to have to now say, here's who you have to go talk to, or here's the right chain of command, because if this makes its way all the way to the top, you want me to be able to vote on it. And so I can't get too involved. That really is a hard thing to learn to say.
It is. It's hard for us to learn as board members, but I think it's even harder sometimes for the people who are your, colleagues and your friends and people that know you as an advocate. I mean, I think it's a learning curve for everybody.
Yes, it is.
So the next question is, what do you wish that you knew then that you know now? What's that thing that would be really helpful for new members to recognize early?
Absolutely. I think I was very worried when I was in my first couple board meetings about making sure they weren't too long. I had the president of our board really wanted to be quick and succinct and didn't want the board meetings to go too long. And so I always felt this pressure not really to ask questions or to have long conversations on issues. And it took me a while to learn that really your governing board meeting is to conduct the business of the district in public. It is not a public meeting per se that's for the public. So I had to get more comfortable pushing back on that with the president of the board saying, I have questions, and if I have them, then probably the community has them. And so we really do need to talk about this. Some people like to use that word, the famous phrase, rubber stamping. And it comes about when you try to have your meetings too quickly and you don't have that proper dialogue. And even if I do know the answer, it might be a good idea to ask the questions and have the dialogue so your community knows how you got to the decisions you're making and why you're voting the way you're voting. So I really wish I had known that right from the get-go.
Well, there's that sweet spot between way too long and way too short.
Yes.
It's like the Goldilocks of meetings.
Yes, the just right meeting. And the other thing is not too many meetings, right? There's some folks who want to study everything or have another meeting about it. I'm like, let's figure out, like you said, that just right spot.
Exactly. So what do you find most inspiring about the job? Sometimes it's hard to find. I think especially over the past year and a half or so, it's been a little bit difficult, but what stands out to you?
Well, especially after this year of dealing with a pandemic, it certainly has been a rough year for all of us. And so, but ultimately what is most inspiring is knowing that we are just a small part of the world that is providing education to our children. And education is the game changer for folks. They need it to ultimately become productive members in society and put you on a path to be able to do what you want to do. So knowing that I have a hand in helping kids learn and achieve and become successful and be able to go on and pursue their dreams is just such an enormous thing to be a part of. I'm so grateful for that. And every once in a while you get a nice thank you note from a student or a parent or a staff member, and those really just are so valuable to me, is those thank yous.
Yeah. And I think that is so important for us to realize, and not just new board members, but veteran board members too, is that keeping your eye on the big picture, because you can get lost in the little details of the job that seem frustrating, but it is about helping students achieve their goals. So
it absolutely is. And I think that, as you're saying too, a lot of people are quick to complain, right? Or write the nasty gram, so to speak. And so sometimes when I'm not getting emails, I get a little worried, but then I have to remind myself that, quiet is good, because that means probably people I'm going to go with happy. Yes. They're probably happy if I'm not hearing from them. So it's just, it's like the icing on the cake. When you get a thank you note, that's the extra. But if things are quiet, I'm always grateful, because that means things are going well.
Yep. Not too much to complain about.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today. And this will be going out in our next Stories of School Board Service. And thank you for your commitment to your community, your students, and to ASBA.
Well, thank you, Julie. It's been great visiting with you this morning.